Hello there, YouTube. I hope y'all are having a blessed day. We are here today to continue where we left off. This is my scripture writing journal that I created, and I showed it in my last video. I kind of did things backwards. I showed you the finished journal rather than to show you how to make it. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to take this adorable little gift bag and turn it into your own little tiny journal. We're going to be using an assortment of junk mail, envelopes, ephemera, stickers, you name it, we'll find stuff. There'll be some fabric involved, I am sure, and we'll have a good time. We are going to start with our cover, which is going to be this adorable little nice paper bag. It's your standard paper bag that has the sides and the square bottom. The first thing that we're going to do is open this up, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't come off neatly because we're not going to be using it. We're going to be cutting it off. And now we're going to open it up. So this portion here is getting cut off. This will be our cover, and I did say I was going to go smaller so that you don't get overwhelmed by the size. And now these handles have to come off. I'm just going to chop them off as far down as I can get. Just be careful you don't cut yourself. So this is our journal cover, and these I am going to, we have two choices. We can either fold them out like this to make a tall, skinny journal. And I mean, technically, you could fold it in half this way and have a different option. But what I plan on doing today is leaving these creases just the way they were and making this a small journal. And this will be nice and sturdy. This is, I would say that this is the equivalent to the art glitter glue. I have a link to that on my list in the description. So I just happened to see somebody using this, so I thought I would try it. And I've gone through almost half the bottle already in just like 2 weeks' time. So I'm going to glue these sections closed. Okay. Put that like that. Get my glue rag. And you can take some clips and clip them closed for a while. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, I did want to come back and just show you that it was obvious to me that putting the ties on the inside of the back pocket was going to leave a gap. So what I've done is I've taken one of these things, one of these kits here that I have, and I've applied a snap right here. So now you can pop it open and closed. So now I've glued these edges closed. And now it is a wonderful little journal. Now this is a natural crease that was in the bag, and it is ever so slightly off. We can trim it off. We can trim that off. And we can do any number of things that you want to it. My plan is to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch to get all the pages in. But the first thing I want to do is I want to cover this. I have some beautiful journal paper. I have a pile of scrap papers that we can use, painty papers, painty paper towels, all sorts of yummy, yummy, yummy things here that we can use. And for a beginner, I think that the book pages might be the simplest. And of course, the book pages can just be a base. And in fact, so that would work perfectly. And you know what? I'll actually even leave the pages connected. Yep. Gonna leave it. And this is my Liquitex matte medium. It is very, very old, but it still seems to work. So I'm just plopping some on here. You just want to get a consistent layer on. I don't want any lumps or bumps. That's one thing that's good about the matte medium. It doesn't usually leave lumps and bumps. It will usually flatten out for you. Now I'm going to get that snug into the edge there. And I'm just pushing it up against the crease. And here is my glue rag. Okay. And now I'm going to flip it upside down and do it on this side. So that is plenty. Put that in my bottle. Okay. And this will give the cover a lot more stability and a lot more oomph. It will feel substantial and it'll feel like a nice journal. And I'm going to get a heavy book and put it on here, and I'm going to go away and let it dry. The glue is almost dry, and I have folded it in the middle and used my bone folder to crease it. There's a pocket in the front and a pocket in the back. Now, I also have this scrumptious tissue paper. And when I saw this tissue paper, I just kind of went gaga. And I thought that this would make a lovely cover. So I'm taking it and I'm really scrunching and scrunching and scrunching. And I'm unfolding and unscrunching. And then if you see any big flat areas, you can gather it up and scrunch it again in another direction. And I thought that if we scrunch this up and glued it down, it would give the appearance of leather. Beautiful, beautiful grayish green. I don't know what this color would be called. Cooked broccoli? I don't know. Cooked spinach? Not sure. But we could squish it up and glue it down onto the cover. And yes, I know that's kind of, I already put a cover on this. But this was just to hide the paper and to give it a little bit of body. I'm going to scrunch this up and use my matte medium to glue it down, and then it's going to be another drying process. Unfortunately, when you're working with paper, there's dry time involved. You can use a heat gun. I still have this thing. This was Sanjay's when he first came to this country. He got this in 1979 or so, and I'm still using it, and it works fantastic. So I'm going to put a whole bunch of matte medium on here and then scrunch this on, and then I will come back once it is dry. Alrighty, it is the next day and I am not happy with the way this looks. I didn't realize that the tissue paper was so thin, so I can still see through it, and I'm not happy with how the edges turned out. So at this point, I am going to abandon this, but you did see how we set up a grocery bag journal cover. So what I'm going to do is I am going to move over to this bag, and I'm going to cut it down into a reasonable size for our small journal that we're making. And we will pick up where we left off. And I think rather than cover the entire thing with a piece of tissue paper, I will collage ephemera over it, and it will look just as nice. And I love the crinkly sound this has. I really love the packaging that Amazon's been using lately. They've been moving away from using boxes and using these bags, and they are absolutely fabulous. Oh, I love that scrunchy sound. That's our cover, and we can paint it or we can add paper to it. But let's see how big we want this to be. Cut it there. There's one signature, and we can have a second signature. Oh, here's a pretty page. I got that. We have some paper, right? Brown paper, craft paper. Why not? I guess we could use that. Just give it a variety of pages. This can go in the middle and open up this way. Let's cut it about there. And about there. Okey-doke. All right. All of these Costco flyer things in the middle. What else can we add to this? I think we could probably do a second signature. I think, oh, most certainly. Yes, indeedy do. Let's make another one. That looks pretty good. Well, that's certainly a nice size. I'm going to pull out some ephemera and we can start decorating. I have two signatures in here, and I have the little calendar that I wanted to add. We can use that. That is the front cover. Use the bone folder to give it a nice crease. And now we can do the inside cover. I kind of like those colors. I might use these on the front cover, but this would look nice on the inside. I don't know if I have enough to do the whole thing. We might be able to make a pocket on the covers. See what else kind of fun things we can do. This stuff grabs very quickly, like the art glitter glue, but it does give you enough time to position. Okay. Oh, we're gonna be short. Oh, that's sad. That is sad. Well, we will have to make do. Maybe I have another piece of it floating around. Or we can cover it with a pocket. That could be a little tuck spot on one of the pages. Let's come up with something to make a pocket out of. We will use this. So let's make it like that, maybe a little bit higher. And about like, yay. That'll make a pocket. Let me find a punch here. That will work. I need to cover it with something. How about these? That'll work. And do that. Okay. There we go. There's our pocket. Let's glue this down. Okay. That is our pocket, and I will use a bit of distressed oxide to edge this. And I want to tell you something about these. I haven't done any art journaling or junk journaling in probably 8 years. So these are 8 or 9 years old. And you can get a revitalizing fluid that you can put on these pads to make the ink start flowing again. And you can also buy refillers. And these are frightfully expensive, so don't throw them out if you think they're dried up. They might not be dried up. Okay, so that will go there. And I think what I will do is use some of these clamps and we'll let this dry. Now, alternatively, you could sew this on with your sewing machine, or you could staple it on with your stapler, okay? But I'm going to leave that to dry. I am looking at this piece of wallpaper, and I'm thinking a tuck spot on the inside front cover might be nice. I thought I could make a fanciful tuck spot with a nice edge. And then do this and that, and just make a little curve there. And then let's make there we go. That will work. I think so. Yes, indeedy. There we go. So now we have a nice little tuck spot there. We can put things in. Don't know what yet. Isn't that precious? And he goes. His colors go. Indeedy do they go. So I'd have to chop this down a bit. There, he fits in there nice, like that. And we can glue a piece of ephemera on him, but we need a bigger one. That would work. Pretty little butterfly. Okie doke. So there is our little pocket card, and that will slip in here, and I think he looks good with the color. And now he fits in here just like that. And I'm wondering, this paint would go. I'm wondering if I should apply a wee bit of paint to the front cover. Let's just use a piece of this and just see what it looks like. I'm not going to put, you know, a really thick coat, but just a glaze. Yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, that's got a nice little bit of shimmer there. You'll still be able to see the ephemera. That's just going to apply a wee bit of color on here so it looks nice. And these are Folk Art Color Shift paints that I'm using. There we go. So there is our cover, and we have all these beautiful stickers that we can put on here. There are 4 sheets in here. We have these flowers, 2 sheets of flowers, and then we have some clouds. Oh yes, like that. There we go. Wait a second, is this not, there's no glue. Are these not stickers? Paper cut. All right, they're not stickers. Well, that explains it, Lucy. And let's make sure we're right side up. Yep, we are. I think that works pretty good. It gives some nice decoration to the cover. Okay, so we can put this in here like so. And that is a nice little journal card. And I like how he's poking his head out. Let's see, there we go. There, he's poking his head out. That don't look too bad. And now we have the signatures that we put in like so. I have some pearl cotton here that we can use. I'm just going to make sure that the pages are centered the way that I want them. So I'm going to put the clamps on just to hold it. And we'll do the same thing for the other one. Let's find the approximate center. More clamps. And we're going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And we need to address the width. And I think if I put them just on either side of the center seam, we will be good to go. Let me take this card out for a moment. And I want to mark this. This one is going to go just to the left of the center fold. And this one will go just to the right of the center fold. And if it is a little poofy, that's perfectly fine. These are a selection of doll needles or tatting needles. And I like them because they're nice and long. So we need 1, 2, 3 for the first signature. And that is about 1/4 of an inch away from the center fold. Let's see if you can see that. And it looks straight. We are going to punch a hole through the approximate middle. I'm taking an awl and I'm just punching a hole there, and I'll punch another one there and another one there. And it's a tiny little junk journal, so it doesn't matter really. There and there. Okay, so we go in the center hole. So we're leaving a tail here in the middle, and we are going to go back in the hole over here and back into the signature up at the bottom, and you're going to leave a tail, and now you're going to go in through here, and now you're going to go back up through the center hole, but when you do, you want to go on the other side. So you can see that I have a tail over here and this center thread, so I want my other tail to come up on the other side of this long thread. That will help to secure the signature. There we go. And now if some of your pages are delicate, you don't want to like really yank on this because you will shred them. So I'm just snugging it up. And I'm making a knot. I'll make a double knot. And you can leave these long if you like. And if you are an overachiever, you could put a dot of glue right there if you need to. And you can cut these short, or you can leave them long and sew dangles on them. So at this point, we can take this off. This is just on the other side of the center crease. So this one is going to go right next to it. And you're going to do the same thing. Here we are. We have our signature sewn in. Now, I did not take my time and line things up and make sure. I didn't make a template, but I'm okay with that. They're a little off, but that's fine. It's a little tiny junk journal. We can put our little fella in his pocket and let him poke out. And back here we can, I have this whole box from Journal Say. So let's see what we can find in here. Oh, how pretty. Oh my, oh, here, that one. Will that one go with this color? I think so. Okay, I'll have to trim off a little bit of that, and we need to give it some sturdiness. Well, that would work. And this has to be cut down to about there. Let's see if we can't get, that's the 1/2 inch. Don't like it. Nope, I need a different one. So there is a cute little card that we can slide in here.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy.